I'm John Falco from Lincoln's Beer Brewing Company, and we're day drinking Christmas beers in October. So here we are. We got 3 Christmas themed beers. We haven't brewed none of these at Lincoln's Beer Brewing Company. I don't know if we'll ever brew a Christmas beer, but that's okay because hopefully we can find one within these 3 that is good for your holiday party. First one on the left here, my left, your right. It's a little bit opaque. Got a nice tan head. It's really pretty beer. A little bit of cloudiness, which is probably from some bottle fermentation. Probably indicative that it's from Europe, probably the Belgian area. Belgians are known for brewing a lot of Christmas spiced beers. So let's go in on it here. Let's go with the aroma. Ooh, yeah, a lot of dark fruit on that. A little bit of nuttiness. That's nice. A little bit of booze. A little sherry maybe. Let's go for it. Oh yeah. Yeah, same thing in the flavor. Maybe a little bit more sweet cherry in that flavor. Virtually no bitterness. Indicative, definitely a Belgian beer. A lot of that characteristic, that peppery spice from the yeast there. That's really nice though. I could drink this for sure. Oh yeah, nice good finish on it, very clean. It probably has a little bit of age on it, and I mean that in a good way because it's got a little bit of that dark, that deep dark fruit that you get from aging any beer. It's boozy too, a little boozy, nothing too crazy. Maybe if I had to guess, although age can kind of calm that down. If I had to guess, I'd probably say we're up somewhere in the 8% range. I would not be surprised if it was closer to 10-ish. I'd probably be a little bit surprised if it was in the 6-ish range, but we're probably in the 8 to 9 range here. Percent alcohol by volume. So a little sip in my bee-themed cup here that Petey the dog got me over there. Clear the palate. All right, let's go in on this next one, see where we're at. Whoa, big coconut, almost like a suntan lotion, and not necessarily a bad way yet. That's crazy there. That's it's pretty clear. Pretty clear, but definitely getting a lot of coconut on the nose. Whoa. That's pretty intense. That's pretty intense. Certainly not something I would drink, full stop, but it's not appalling. It's pretty dry. It's not overly sweet. A lot of kind of pina colada themed or coconut beers tend to be a little bit sweet because that's kind of the market that guys like Petey and I are looking for. But it's probably offensive. I'd probably say this is offensive. Oh yeah. I don't know. This is probably not Belgian just because it's clear, so we probably don't have any yeast inside that bottle. Very little bitterness to that. No hop flavor at all. No hop aroma. I guess that's an American beer. It tastes pretty high alcohol. A lot of these Christmas beers tend to be pretty boozy just because, who doesn't want to be drunk at a holiday party, right? So those tend to show a little bit of booze, which this one does a little bit, but it's not terrible. But I just get a lot of, I don't know if it's actually coconut, but I just get a lot of coconut flavor on that, coconut style flavor. This Bubba here, he's black. That is pure black. You probably can't see any light through there. Let's get a cell phone. Let's get a cell phone camera on that. You get a lid. You can almost see your cell phone camera through it, but yeah, you can barely see a tiny red dot on the other end. So that is just a purely black beer. A lot of roast malt in this. Roast malt, think of it like coffee beans. The more you roast them, the more color you get out of it. So you're gonna have a lot of roast malt. This have a nice tan head also. Again, from that roast malt. We got a little bit of yeast in suspension, so it's not totally clear. Not that it matters on a beer this black, but that's probably indicative of some bottle aging as well, bottle fermentation. So, which would be indicative of Belgian style, but it could really be. We do that in America here too, also a little bit. Whoa, man! So we have big smoke notes on here. Definitely some smoked malt in this Bubba, which would be what the Germans would call Rauch beer. So that probably tells me this is probably from a little further away from Belgium and probably from Germany. Let's give it a go. All I can smell is smoke. No roast or anything on the nose. That is incredibly pleasant as I spit all over the place. Definitely some smoke to it, but not bad. I'd say anyone that drinks smoked cocktails out there, similar to like a smoked cocktail. It's clearly intentionally brewed to be balanced and subtle, but that's really pleasant. You do get some roast in the mouth. You get, I certainly want to say molasses, but maybe like a light brown sugar note. So you get a lot of that coming through, a little nuttiness, which is really nice. I'm going to go back in on this. I'm going to skip the water for now. We're going back in on this one here. Beautiful, nice. The head just sits on top, pretty, really silky. That's a well-brewed beer. That kind of drinks pretty clear. I'm going to say this is an ale. This actually might be a lager. It drinks really, really clean. All I get is roast, a little bit of roast and a little bit of smoke. It's a really balanced beer. I'd be ecstatic to have brewed that beer. That's really nice. That being said, no one likes smoked beers. So except for me and like 3 people on the Eastern Seaboard. So I'm going to do a couple different orderings. So if we're going left to right, and definitely not a fan to definitely a fan from your angle there, which one should you bring to the holiday party? I'm going to say smoked beer is going to be last to the holiday party. We're going to bring this Boozy Bubba. It's pretty. It looks like the holidays. We're going to bring the coconut abomination there. We're going to bring the coconut abomination for people that say things like, I don't even like beer, but this beer is great. And then they're going to go tell 5 other people how great this beer is, and those people are going to have a confirmation bias and love the beer too. And then those of us locally are going to be forced to brew it because that's what we do. So that's going to be number 2. And then the smoked beer is going to be over here. That's going to be last. You're going to bring this, and the only people that are going to drink this is me if I'm there, the other 3 people in the Eastern Seaboard if they're there, or the really tough guy in your office that really thinks he's super manly and super tough. And if you want him to drink, you just be like, hey man, I brought this, but no one can really take this. One of these words like take it, no one can take this. And he's just going to pound these all night just to try to satisfy his inherently low self-esteem. But as far as quality of beer produced, I'm definitely going to go, I'm still going to stay with this one, number 1, just because I know how hard it is to brew a Belgian beer that's that good. That's what these Belgian breweries, they've been around for, some of them, literally over 1,000 years. So, or close to 1,000 years, I should say. I know how hard it is to brew that, and so the quality of that is just amazing. This one is a very close second, just because it's interesting and good. And this one, I'm not saying it's poorly brewed, but if a home brewer came in and I was really hungover and he was like, hey, taste this, I would probably pretend to taste it and not a fan of the coconut thing. Maybe you want to take this, put it on the stove, reduce it down to like a paste, and you could probably rub it on yourself. Maybe keep the mosquitoes away or whatever. So that's what we got. So what do we got here, Nick? So the number 1, which was this guy, which I said was Belgian. It is Belgian style, but it's actually from the boys and girls at Barrel of Monks, which this was not planned. Are acquaintances of mine and the folks down here. Great set of folks up there. Well brewed beer. So bravo to y'all up there. Super, super yummy stuff. I love this beer. This is great. The Office Party, which is the one I described as smoky. This is Office Party by Abita, which has been around for many, many moons. Abita out of Abita Springs, Louisiana. Really good. I would certainly drink it. Now, it's definitely not a lager. It's definitely not from Germany, and it's definitely not a Rausch beer. So I was pretty much wrong in every aspect, which is fine because that happens a lot. This one has generous amounts of cocoa nibs, cinnamon, vanilla, and nutmeg. So a whole bunch of different flavors there. So let's see. What was I missing? Yeah, I still get smoke. I don't know. It's really, really balanced. I've used nutmeg in a beer one time and it was terrible. My use of it was terrible. That's why I don't brew anymore. But it's nice to know that someone can do it. And then over here, the guys up at Funky Buddha, whom I do not know, which is totally fine. They're too rich for me to know them now. This is a Coquito cream ale. So yes, there's definitely some coconut in there. Also cinnamon, vanilla, lactose, sugar. It's 11.4% alcohol. So that didn't really show in there. So that was certainly a nice fermentation. But as someone who is partially Puerto Rican, calling that Coquito is frankly offensive. So, and I'm a little minorly triggered by that. So Coquito is what eggnog should be. So it is a coconut, it's a Puerto Rican centric traditional holiday drink with rum and coconut and what, coconut milk, coconut cream, cinnamon. It's delicious. It's delicious. I don't. Sometimes it has eggs. Sometimes it doesn't. I prefer it with eggs. Some people freak out about raw egg in your coquito, but it's awesome. And everyone knows someone that has a recipe and makes some, and you should definitely buy it when you see it. I mean, the coquito trade is basically 100% bootleg at this point. I mean, you might get some at a bar, but I'd say 99% of coquito that's spread is bootleg, illegally produced coquito, which makes me warm inside and happy. But oh yeah, so we guessed alcohol. So let me throw some alcohol. What do we got here? This was 10%. That was well hidden, really good. This one I tasted virtually no. This is 6.8, so that's still a good drinker. That'll get you there. That'll get you there. You'll be making out with the dude from finance by the end of the holiday party. You drink 4 or 5 of those. So that's what we got. That's what we got. I think Nick's here is going to make me chug seltzer now, so I should have brought my frat boy hat. So cheers, y'all. Thanks.